Delighted to say that we've been joined by the Premier League referee, Kevin Friend. Kevin, good to see you. How are you coping with this coronavirus lockdown?
Yeah, like anybody else, it's quite difficult at times. Obviously, with the lockdown and staying at home, which is mostly important that we're going to be doing. But it's just finding things to be doing with ourselves and keeping ourselves active, keeping ourselves mentally fit as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because players will be given fitness routines by their clubs. Are you given the same by your bosses?
Yeah, we're pretty much like a normal team, to be fair, a normal football team. So we've got our own sports science team that puts together a program for us during the lockdown. So again, the same as any football team, we've got a program we've got to follow, whether that be core strength or yoga or foam rolling or running or anything like that. Then we just follow the same sort of routines. At the minute, for the next couple of weeks, while we don't really know exactly what's happening, we're just ticking over, making sure that we're keeping relatively fit, and then ready for when that we get the all clear and then we can start properly ramping up the training. We can do that.
You touched on the mental side of things. How important is that for referees as well as footballers?
Oh, massively important. I think, with nowadays, with what everybody's going through, I think it's something that we're all aware of from the mental stresses and issues and that. And the group of referees that we've got, there's a lot of banter that goes around that keeps everybody's spirits up within the WhatsApp group and what have you. And with the group of referees, everybody sort of keeps everybody ticking over and keeps yourself in the right way. We've got a team of sports psychologists that actually work with us. So every few days, they're checking in with us as well, making sure that everything's okay. We've got everything we need. Mentally, we're fine and we're safe and everything like that. So if we've got any worries or concerns, then we just speak to them, and they're brilliant, to be fair. They really are good.
So what's an average day for you at the moment, Kevin?
Yeah, obviously it's pretty different than normal. Obviously with lockdown and everything like that, but I'm pretty keen to make things pretty routine. Because obviously each day can blend into another. So for me, first thing in the morning, basically I'll take the dog and we'll go for a training session just on the park, just me and the dog, out of the way where there's nobody around. And obviously because training, we've tapered down a little bit now. So it's more to do with the sort of like core strength, bit of yoga, foam rolling and probably a little bit of running, but not too much. But just getting ourselves ready for when the season actually is going to start back up again, and we can build up a bit. Then after that, basically, I'll come back. I'll spend some time with the kids. I've got a 17-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old, so I'm doing a bit of homeschooling with the 10-year-old, which is good. She's far brighter than what I am, so she's probably schooling me, to be fair. But no, that's good, and that presents some challenges as well. But she's well involved in that, and she enjoys that, which I think's good as well. Keeps her sane in what she's got to do with the schoolwork. Then after that, we've got the portal as well. That we've got the online portal through the PGMOL, which basically on that it's a learning area where we go on as referees, where there's clips, our games, our performances, and also VAR, where we can go on there and do clips, discussions, do that each day. So we can debate certain things that have happened over this last season. We can talk about them and try and make things then better going into when the season starts again and moving forward. So one of the things for us is to make sure that everything's better, not just for football itself, but for the fans' experience in regards to that. So that portal's key, with all that footage for us to help us develop ourselves as well. But also do a bit of stuff in the community at the minute as well, where I'm helping out there when I can do. And then come back and just doing a bit of gardening. So I'm a keen gardener now, and dab hand in the kitchen, which is pretty good. Yeah.
So it's interesting that you say that you're going out and doing stuff in the community to help people. Who are you helping? What kind of things are you doing? And how does that make you feel, being able to put something back into the local area?
No, it's great, because I think I'm working with a council, so put my name down and basically helping the elderly and people who can't get out and about and just do their general shop for the necessities or get their medicine and what have you down to the doctors. So I'll just help and sort of like when I'm available, which is pretty much most days at the minute. So I'll go and do some shopping for some of the elderly people and that. So they'll just let me know who wants what, and I'll ring them up and they'll give me the shopping list, and I'm rubbish at shopping, trust me. But they give me a shopping list, and I'll go out and I'll get whatever they need, and I'll come back and deliver it to them, which is great. It's interesting actually. Yesterday there was an old lady, Doris, bless her soul. She was in tears because she was like dead worried about her shop and about me and everything like this, because of what's happening at the minute. So I just bought some tulips just to cheer her up and whatever like that. And to see the beam on her face when I got back was amazing. But for me, it's just great just to put something back and just to help other people that actually can't help themselves at the minute.
How much are you missing football, Kevin?
Oh, massively. Yeah, massively. It's something that obviously we do day in, day out. I've done it for so many years. And then to sort of like not be doing it in a minute, it's, you're chomping at the bit to get back out there. You're chomping at the bit to actually doing it. So I'm missing it massively.
What is it you miss particularly?
I think it's the adrenaline rush when you walk out, when you're getting yourself ready for a game, you're preparing for the game. And that's not just that day of the game, but it's the lead up as well. Actually preparing the research for the game and going into that with the mindset of what you're going to come up against, and then going out onto the pitch itself. That adrenaline rush is phenomenal. So missing that totally.
When do you think, or when do you hope that football might be back?
I don't know. I really don't know. Like anybody else, the most important thing is that everybody's safe and everybody's okay in regards to that. And football is important to a lot of people, but it's not as important as health. And I think that's the main thing. And I think when we look at the bigger picture, we've got to look at government guidelines of when they sort of like start to reduce the lockdown and what we're doing, and we'll just be guided by that.
There's been talk that there might be some games played behind closed doors. Have you ever done any behind closed doors games at a senior level?
Yeah, not on first team games. I've done sort of like friendlies. I've done them sort of games and reserve games and whatever behind closed doors. I've never done a first team game behind closed doors. But to be fair, when I've done them before, it's because as referees we've got the communication kit in. So we're wired up to all the assistants, so we're speaking with each other during the 90 minutes. So you don't tend to hear too much external noise that goes on. So we'd still be doing exactly the same as what we do normally.
In sort of normal games, we can't hear what the referees are saying to the assistants. But if it is behind closed doors and there isn't a crowd in there, we'll be able to hear everything that the players are saying and everything that the referees are saying.
Yeah, we'll probably start whispering then. No, and that's fine because there'll be an echo and you'll hear a lot of what goes on and what have you. You'll hear a lot of the banter that goes on between players and referees and with each other, which is all good natured.
You said you miss the adrenaline of football, and players talk about certainly when they've retired, they miss the banter in the dressing room and that kind of thing. During this lockdown, how difficult is it for you not seeing all your colleagues on a regular basis? Maybe you use these kind of Zoom calls and what have you, but are you missing sort of just being around your colleagues and friends?
Oh yeah, definitely. Again, because that's one of the benefits when you're together as a team and a group when we're at training, and you see people, the rib take and the banter, the one-to-one sort of like chats with your mates, the referees and whatever is you can't replace that. But saying that now, we've got Zoom, we've got a lot of social engagement in regards of what we're doing within the PGMOL that's helping us. So each week we're on a Zoom chat where, as a group of referees, we're on there, we're talking with each other anyway each week. We're going through certain things. Still the banter goes on with everybody, which is good. I mean, we keep spirits up, which I like. So we're always in contact. So even though we're not face to face, one to one with somebody, we're still there at the other end of the screen, and we're still having that bit of banter, which is good and healthy.
Let's just have a bit of chat about the season in general. Obviously, VAR was brought in this year. It's been a massive talking point. What sort of challenges has that thrown up for you as the group of referees and your assistants?
Yeah, I think anything that's new that's implemented, especially for the game of football, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be problems There's going to be things that we're going to come up against that are going to make it a bit more difficult. But we're in a good place at the minute. From the group of referees and how we implement it and what we do in the training and stuff, we're really happy in exactly how it's going. Yeah, it's not perfect, and there's been a few mistakes or what have you, perceived errors, and that's part and parcel. Anything that's new that's brought into the game, there's going to be a few teething problems, but at the minute we're in a positive position, positive place with where we are with it. So we're really happy. Yeah.
I mean, you can't turn on the TV, can you, during the normal season without it being debated in great depth? Is that good for the referees that it's been debated that much, or not so?
Well, with VAR, I think it's taken the element of talking about the referee away, and now a lot of people are more talking about VAR. And a lot of the decisions that we're talking about are still subjective calls, so there's still a 50-50 either way which way people goes in regard to what that decision might be. So, but one of the things over this lockdown as well, what I want to say is that we've got like an online portal with the VAR where we're actually still training, still updating ourselves, still making sure that we're improving ourselves off the pitch in regards to VAR and how we implement it and how we improve it. So then when we do come back, that it becomes even more seamless and better. So we're always striving to improve that.
You've been the man in the middle, you've been a referee for many, many years. Very different though now, sitting in the VAR hub, kind of helping the refereeing, but not refereeing, but kind of refereeing in the VAR hub. Can you just give us an idea what it's like in there? Is there sometimes more pressure on you in there than being the man with the whistle in the middle of the pitch?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of pressure when you're in there. One of my friends always winds up and he says, "Oh yeah, enjoy watching the football, just the game of football." And it's not like just watching a game of football like you would do on your sofa with a can of beer or what have you. You're actually, it's quite intense. But when you go into the hub, into Stockley Park itself, there's 10 workstations, and you go in there, you get your own little station where you work with your operator and your assistant VAR. And then when you're watching the game, you're watching it intricately. You're looking at everything that's going on in the game, from start of attacking phases to potential fouls, potential offsides, everything like that. So you're looking at everything that's going on. And yeah, we're the backup for the referee, but it's quite intense in regards of it's not just like watching a game of football.
Do you enjoy it?
I do actually, yeah, because it's a different spin on what I'm used to, and it's something that, once I've done it more often, I've become more confident with it, more sort of like into it a lot more. So yeah, I quite enjoy it, to be fair.